Hi everyone, welcome back for another video. Today I'm flipping through a section in my UK album from my trip to North Wales. So I went with my boyfriend and we took my dog away as well. This is the first time she's ever been like on a big road trip like this, mainly because she's a Cocker Spaniel, she's got lots of energy, so I thought she might be sort of quite difficult to handle in the car, but actually she was good as gold. She loves the car. So yeah, no, it ended up being a really lovely weekend away. So we went for Easter weekend in April 2026. I can't remember whether it was April or March that Easter was this year. So yeah, this is just a sort of travel page. So I've used a sort of 12 by 12 page. I think this is from the Let's Take the Trip from Echo Park. It's an Echo Park collection, but I liked all the sort of car sort of bumper plates, sort of, not bumper plates, number plates, sort of with all the different words, because we were travelling in the car. And then I've just put Wales at the top and used a Welsh Dragon sticker, and then just this cutout that says let's travel and make memories together. So yeah, just sort of lots of different pictures in the car. So most of the time my dog was in the back in her bed, but every so often she sort of stuck her head through as sort of so she could see where we were going. And then this picture's from the journey back. Sort of we travelled back quite late on Easter Monday, and sort of the sun was just setting as we were sort of about an hour from home. So yeah, the sky was really pretty. So then these are just some pictures from the journey. The scenery was absolutely stunning. So again, I've used sort of the obviously because this was a 12 by 12 and it was sort of just a little bit too big, so I had to trim it down. So I just used sort of some of the offcuts here. So yeah, this was some of the scenery, and then I've just sort of put some cutouts. So it says it doesn't matter where you go, it's who is there beside you. So yeah, I loved traveling with my partner, and taking the dog as well was really sort of special. And then I just put some headphones because we spent sort of the whole journey listening to the radio, and then I've just put some sort of more stickers on to sort of document where we were. So my plan for this was to use a spring paper pad pack that I'd got from the works. However, the first few days the weather was not kind to us, and so it felt more like autumn than spring. So I've sort of kind of gone with an autumn theme, even though we were there in April, but sort of a foresty, leafy kind of theme, because on the way there we stopped at a place called Haffron Forest, which is sort of in mid Wales, and it was just to break up the journey a little bit and give the dog a chance to have a walk. So yeah, it was raining, but you know, it's Wales, that's sort of what you come to expect. One thing I have done with this scrapbook, which I really like, is that the company I get my photos from, they only do 6x4s in their they do like an offer where you get 45 free prints a month, but they only do 6x4s. And I wanted to try something a little bit different, so I sort of edited on Canva, so that I sort of cropped two 6x4s into, sorry, yeah, no, two 6x4s into two 3x4s. So yeah, I could fit two 3x4s on one 6x4, so I was effectively getting two photos in one. But I really like the different sort of sizes. Sort of I've kept sort of my favourite photos as the bigger ones, and then sort of cropped down the other ones. And yeah, I really like the different sized photos. I think it sort of works quite well. And then I've just used some autumn washi tape, and then this came from a Simple Stories outdoors collection. So there's lots of sort of like hiking themes, because we did do a lot of walking this weekend. But I like the colours, sort of like the browns and the greens. I think it works quite well, obviously, with the forest theme. So yeah, this was a really lovely place to visit. They've got like a boardwalk for about a mile, which can be done as a walk in itself, but then there's lots of different tracks and trails that you can kind of go off the beaten track and do, and it's really lovely with the river flowing through. So yeah, we were properly wrapped up for winter, even though I was hoping it would be sunny, but on this particular day it was not. So yeah, I went a little bit trigger happy with with this place. I just thought it was absolutely beautiful. So yeah, there's just lots of pictures of all the scenery and the three of us there. I love this picture. I'll try and zoom in. So my partner tried to pick my dog up, but she didn't really like it. She prefers to be on the ground, and quite right too. So yeah, sort of just caught her sort of as she was trying to wriggle free. And then again, so yeah, I used sort of like a tartan paper as like the backing, even though it's not sort of, I always get sort of, I don't know what the word is, but yeah, when you sort of use a whole 12 by 12 like this, I always feel like, but you can't see half of it because the photos are behind it, but it does give a good effect. So yeah, I sort of chop and change between sticking a whole paper thing on as backing, or just sort of using odd cutouts to kind of fill in the blank spaces. So yeah, sort of chop and change between that. And then yeah, on one of the trails you come to a little waterfall, which was really nice. And then this page sort of dedicated solely to sheep. Obviously Wales is known for having lots of sheep, and especially being in spring, there were lots of little lambs which were really cute. So this one was really cute. This one had one behind it, and we could see both of their heads, but just as we took the photo, it popped its head back down. Like, no. And yeah, and this sheep here, spent ages trying to get a photo of it, and then as we pressed the camera, it turned its back on us. But yeah, it was so cute seeing all the lambs sort of dancing around as we were driving round. So then this was our place that we stayed at. I booked it on booking.com. We stayed in a village called Bala, which is sort of about an hour outside of Snowdonia National Park. But it was a really lovely little cottage. So yeah, just sort of, this was like the living room, and then we cooked dinner for ourselves each night. This is the name of the place that we stayed. And then this was obviously the bedroom. Because it was Easter, I didn't really get an Easter egg, but instead I got some Maltesers bunnies. These are like my favourite little treats. And then just some pictures of the garden, which unfortunately we couldn't sit out in because it was really stormy, but it would have been lovely to have sort of even just had a cup of tea in the garden. But if we go back in summer, I'm sure maybe we could do something like that. Yeah, and then these cutouts are from an Easter collection. I sort of wanted to sort of keep referencing the fact that it was Easter weekend. And then this was a place that we went to. It's a Welsh name, I'm not even going to try and pronounce that. But I love a waterfall, so many days on this trip were centred around finding waterfalls. One thing that we did notice though was that sort of the tracks to get down to all these places were single tracks, and I mean, kudos to Lee for driving, because I would not have wanted to do that. So yeah, there was a lot of reversing, a lot of trying to get past cars on single track lanes. So yeah, a lot of people were getting stuck in the car parks as well. So yeah, just approach with caution on places like this. So again, I've gone with an autumn theme because yeah, the colours look more autumn than spring, and the weather this day wasn't particularly great, but you know, it was still really nice. So yeah, sort of you can get lots of different view shots. I think this is the highest waterfall in the UK, I want to say. I mean, it was pretty big, so it was really impressive. And then you can walk up a little trail where you can get sort of closer shots and viewpoints of it. So yeah, I like all these little word stickers that sort of just summarize what was going on. So yeah, I was worried that I was going to not have enough space in this, so I've sort of created extra cutouts from an old scrapbook I had that had some pages left over. So yeah, there's a lot of extra sort of like inserts and flips in this one. And then this was just some of the more scenery on the road. Driving around Wales was really nice. We sort of hardly saw any other cars, which was you know, so it was quite relaxing. So yeah, again, it was really misty, particularly up high. And then, so this is the village that we stayed at. There's a big lake that sort of you could walk around. However, they did have a storm in the middle of our trip, Storm Dave, which it was like 50-mile-an-hour winds. So that did dampen the day a little bit because it was really blustery and windy. But we still had a nice time. There was sort of lots of streams. You can go kayaking on this lake, I think, but we chose not to do that this particular weekend. Yeah, and we just stopped at a cafe for a sausage and egg muffin, which was really yummy. So then I've just used it like a blank journal card for some journaling. So one of the main reasons we chose to go to North Wales is because we wanted to visit this village. So this is definitely the longest named place in the UK, if not probably the world. I don't know of a place that's got a longer name, and I'm still trying to learn how to pronounce it so I can get as far as Llanfair Pwllgwyngyllgoger, and that's when I sort of trail off a little bit. So yeah, this is the train station, which is pretty much all there is of significance in this village. So yeah, a lot of people come, they park in the station, take a picture of the sign, and then head off again. But you can go onto the platform. It is an operating train station, and then yeah, they've got the name of the village or the name of the station on the building on the platform as well. So yeah, it's worth it for a sort of a little pit stop, but it was really cool to see in person, because yeah, I've got a friend who can say this village because she grew up not far from here, but I'm still trying to learn how to pronounce it properly. And then fortunately the weather improved dramatically for this day. So this is where I've sort of transitioned into a spring theme. So this was a paper pad I got from the works, and it's sort of very pastel-y colours, so it felt very spring-like. So this day, or this afternoon, we went to Aber Falls, which again is another sort of famous waterfall. So yeah, we parked about a mile away from the actual waterfalls. You can park in a car park closer to it, but again, the lanes are so narrow that cars were getting stuck, and there was a trail, there was like a jam of about 10 cars each way, so one way would have had to reverse, and it looked chaotic. So yeah, we made the right decision to park in the village and then walk up. But yeah, this took about an hour and a half to get to the waterfall. Sort of, yeah, you go up sort of a little track, but the scenery and everything is stunning. So yeah, we stopped and had a little cup of tea when we could sort of see the waterfall. So yeah, we didn't sort of rush it, we just took our time. So again, because I was worried I was going to run out of space, I had to do some sort of extra inserts. And again, this is where sort of I've used a mixture of 6x4s and 3x4s, and I like the different sizes. Then just some more pictures of the waterfall. I think I took more pictures of my dog than anything else. But yeah, I think she really enjoyed this weekend, which was really nice. Yeah, I didn't mean to take this many photos, but it was absolutely beautiful. So yeah, I ran out of pictures to put on this one, so I just sort of put some stickers from the Simple Stories collection that I had. Yeah, and then so this is kind of like the main waterfall, and then you can carry on to a slightly smaller one. So overall it took we were there for about 2 or 3 hours, which was really nice. And then another reason that we went to North Wales is because we wanted to do see Mount Snowdon. We had planned to dedicate a full day to it, but however, because of the storm, it was ill-advised to try and climb the mountain. You know, the winds are so strong that, you know, they couldn't guarantee that it was safe. So unfortunately we had to wait until Easter Monday to visit here, but that was the day that we were coming home, so we didn't get time to climb the whole mountain. We were really hoping that we'd be able to, but we did trek a little bit of it, which you'll see in a second. But this is kind of like the station, and there's a railway that you can catch the train to the top. However, they don't allow dogs on, so that's why we didn't do this. But I managed to, I asked one of the guards if I could sneak onto the platform to get a picture of the train, and he let me, which was really nice. So yeah, we did the Llanberis path. This is supposedly the easiest one for beginners. However, to get to this point, which is sort of like the actual start of the trail, so yeah, you walk through the village and then you have to go up a really steep hill. And that was actually the steepest part of the bit that we did. And sort of we got to this bit and we were absolutely exhausted. And then we still hadn't even started the actual trail. So yeah, the first section before you even start the trail is the hardest. It's actually harder coming down because it's so steep. You're like worried that you're going to sort of kind of end up rolling down the hill. But yeah, would recommend the Llanberis path. It's supposedly, so yeah, if this is the easiest one, I'd hate to see what some of the other ones are like. So yeah, it was hard to believe that the day before it had been really strong winds and rain, but we got really lucky with the weather this day. So yeah, the scenery was just absolutely stunning. And then, yeah, we saw the train in the distance. Would have been cool to go on, but yeah, because we had the dog, we couldn't, but that's okay. And just sort of lots of different viewpoints. We walked for about an hour and a half, I think. So yeah, we estimated we got about a quarter of the way up. But yeah, just because we had to head home, we didn't get right to the top. But maybe that'll be something for another day. Yeah, and then there's just some last minute shots. So yeah, Brie really enjoyed it. It was a bit of a climb for her. So yeah, and just some more blue skies, which was lovely. So yeah, that was our trip to North Wales. So it was like 2 different seasons in one. But yeah, really enjoyed it, and I absolutely love Wales, so happy to go back sort of any time. But yeah, really pleased that I got to see Mount Snowdon and the again, I'm not even going to try and pronounce that. The village with the long name, that's what it says on the sign as you go in. So yeah, we had a really lovely weekend, and I will leave this one there. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.